All right, welcome back. Indonesia's state budget deficit has reduced significantly to 3.63% of the GDP in November 2021, while Indonesia's state revenues increased by 19% compared to the year before, as this is all signaling a steady economic recovery in Indonesia. The drop in state budget deficit and increase in state revenues in the month of November marks a good achievement in Indonesia's efforts towards economic recovery. Now, as per November 2021, Indonesia's state budget deficit was valued at 611 trillion rupiah, which is 3.63% of the GDP. This marks a significant drop in deficit compared to the year before, when the state budget deficit was 5.7% of GDP. Now, meanwhile, in November 2021, Indonesia's total state revenue reached 1,669.4 trillion rupiah, which marks a 19.4% increase in state revenue compared to the year before. Furthermore, Indonesia has so far reached 97.5% of their state revenue target for 2021. Now, Indonesia also reaped total tax revenue of 1,082.6 trillion rupiah in November 2021, which is a 17% increase compared to the year before. Oil and gas tax revenues increased by 57%. Non-oil and gas tax revenues rose by 12.6%, and added tax revenues rose by 19.8%. To discuss more about Indonesia's increase in state revenues and how all of this reflects on Indonesia's economic performance, we are joined by Teuku Rifki, an economist from the University of Indonesia's economic think tank, the University of Indonesia's Institute for Economic and Social Research. Hi, Rifki. Thank you so much for joining us again on Movers and Shakers.
Thank you for having us.
Okay, so as I mentioned, Indonesia's total state revenue has increased by 19% year on year, total tax revenue up by 17%. State budget deficit also reduced significantly. So judging from all of this, would you say that Indonesia's economy has performed quite well in 2021?
Yeah, I would say so. Clearly, we are in a better position in 2021 compared to the previous year. But when we talk about the state revenue, it's not only the better economic performance has contributed to the increase in the state revenue. We have seen that the main contributor of the increase in the revenue is mainly due to the oil and gas tax revenue, which came from the mismatch of demand recovery and supply recovery in other countries. So that helps a lot. But that doesn't actually negate the impact of the current economic recovery progress. And this is quite have been a good news for some times, and we are looking forward for more increase in the state revenue and decline in the state expenditure, especially regarding towards the COVID related budget, as this would indicate a better condition of COVID management in the domestic side.
All right, so as we know, we are still in the middle of the pandemic. There is a new variant, Omicron variant. We had a Delta variant outbreak earlier in the year. So explain to us how Indonesia managed to see such a significant increase in total state revenue and tax revenue in 2021, despite the pandemic conditions still ongoing.
Yeah, I think it came in a different time period. The contributors of the increase in the state revenue and the improvement of the overall state budget came before the emergence of Omicron variant. We have seen quite a robust improvement and economic recovery during the August or September until November, and we are still seeing some of those trends. But Omicron has been emerging for probably in the last 1 month, and it hasn't really been manifested in the domestic condition. So I would say that the negative implication of Omicron variant is yet to come, and we have to be very prepared for that.
Okay, we will get back to the Omicron variant later on. But I also want to talk about the different factors that are affecting our increase in state revenues, tax revenues, and so forth. Now, one of those factors is an increase in global commodity prices. Is this all it is in Indonesia? Our revenues are higher just because of higher global commodity prices? Did we get lucky, or is Indonesia doing something different so that our economy is, performing quite well in 2021? This, yeah.
Okay, I wouldn't say that's all there is to the current figure of the state revenue, but I would say that plays a big role, a major role in contributing of the state revenue comes from the commodity prices. As we are heavily rely on the commodities in our export profile, that would surely help a lot. And it's also blessing in disguise that in many countries such as China, UK, and many other countries have the mismatch of the supply and demand recovery, such that drove up the commodity prices, and that has been reflected on current state revenue. But also, we have seen quite an excellent performance of economic recovery progress, especially when we handled the Delta variant. We have seen many above expectations economic indicators from the manufacturing PMI, inflation, trade balance, and investment figure. We have seen quite an improvement after we manage the spread of Delta variant. As this signals on how we take this seriously, something that we didn't do in the last year. So I would say that this play a role from the expectation perspective, not only in the state revenue, but also on other crucial macroeconomic figures. And that directly and indirectly has some materialization also in the state revenue. But yeah, when we talk about the current state revenue figure, I would say that commodity play a major role on that.
Okay, so you are talking about other crucial macroeconomic figures. Can you just mention what those figures are and how that how that reflects on Indonesia's economic performance in 2021? Is it unemployment, or what are those factors you're talking about?
Well, I'm talking about the expectations. We have set quite a precedent in how we could manage the Delta variants. It's been above expectation. We've been performing better than other countries in managing the Delta variant, and it sets positive sentiment not only for domestic economic and business player, but also from foreign investor. And that also attracts many improvement in the real sector. We have seen the increase in the spending from household. We have seen the increase in the business activity, people's mobility, and also from investment figures. And that all economic activities would create a multiplier in terms of not only output, but also in the tax revenue. So I would say that the game of handling pandemic is actually the game of managing expectations. Once we could actually demonstrate to the world, to the investor, that we could get things in order in terms of health aspect, and then it would reflect that not only on the state revenues and overall budget, but also on other macroeconomic indicators. As for other economic indicators, which is quite lagging, for example, like employment and inflation, I'm sure as long as we could keep the pandemic in order, not only for the Delta variant, but also for the upcoming Omicron variant, I'm sure we would see an improvement in other economic indicators in no time.
Right, so obviously, as you're saying, the main key factor is the handling of the coronavirus. Indonesia has been doing quite well. Sentiment is good. People are spending money. Investors are coming in because they feel secure about the handling of the coronavirus in Indonesia. Right. So many are predicting that. Right. So many are predicting there's going to be positive economic growth in the fourth quarter of 2021. amid all those factors we were just talking about. The government predicted growth of above 5% for the fourth quarter. What is your projection for the fourth quarter? And tell us why.
Yeah, I think we will be performing better than the third quarter because half of the third quarter in 2021 we've been struggling with the Delta variant. We've spent around almost half of the third quarter being in a strict lockdown, and the pent-up demand created by those would be spilled in the last quarter of 2021, and at least until today, we are still seeing a very manageable increase in the COVID-19 daily figures. So I would say that it brings so much optimism in expecting that the figure in the fourth quarter would be higher than the previous quarter. But I would say one thing: this has been quite a cycle and a trend in Indonesia's economic recovery process, in which after we could contain the spread of the virus, after we have seen quite an improvement in economic figure, we become sort of complacent, and we become sort of reckless in doing economic activities excessively. So I think this is the risk to actually should be watched, because we've seen in the early 2021 in the transition to period from 2020 during the holiday season, we've seen the peak of the daily cases figure, and this is something we should be anticipating on the current economic quarter and the next economic quarter.
Okay, just one last question because we're running out of time, but you were talking about anticipating and not being complacent. As we know, there is a new Omicron variant. Now, as you said, Indonesia, the impact is relatively low. We only have about 40 cases, but abroad, in the UK, France, they have over 100,000 new cases in one day over the weekend. In the US, there's a lot of new cases as well. So if the Omicron variant spreads, say in Europe and the US, there's lockdowns in Europe and the US, how will that affect Indonesia's economy in the start of next year?
Okay. Okay. One thing I would like to highlight first is that the issues and the fact revolving around the Omicron is still high with uncertainty. We are still not sure yet how is it more or less deadly from the Delta variant. And that being said, at least I identified two channels in which they could affect the domestic economic performance. First, the difference between our economic condition and the developed countries' economic condition is that we have a relatively poor health infrastructure. So if this happens to be more spreading than the Delta variant, it most be likely that we will see another catastrophic period, because we don't have enough health infrastructure. We don't have enough adequate health infrastructure. So if we see the spike in the daily cases, it would surely bring our economics down again. And that's the first channel. The second channel is that from the expectation that I've been talking before, in which that if we see the spike in the Omicron figure, it also signals that we are not managing the situations well enough. And this would spook many economic agents. Like,
okay.
yes, household investor, in which they would cut off their spending and investing.
Okay. Unfortunately, we've run out of time, but Teuku Rifki, economist from the University of Indonesia's Institute for Economic and Social Research, thank you so much for your insights and your time. All right, and up next, we'll have full analysis of international markets. That's coming up on Jakarta Movers and Shakers.